It is a beach scene. There will be no blood, no darkness, nothing crawling out of the sand. I have never used this type of paint in my life. Also don't know how to pronounce it. I feel like if I try to pronounce that, I'm going to ruin it. Look at this blue. That is gorgeous. Did I get this from my kids' sandbox? Maybe. Maybe not. Okay, I think we just need to go for it. Should I do this? Okay. It's done. I'm instantly regretting this. Are you guys watching this and just going, no? Stop it. Since I feel like I've ruined it, I'm gonna just take it up a notch. So we are gonna do that. We're just gonna go all out on ruining it, okay? Why not? Why not, I always say. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, or to my channel if you just found me. I have sold another painting. I'm so excited about this project because it's going to be an actual mental challenge for me. It is a beach scene, tropical themed, and there will be no blood, no darkness, nothing crawling out of the sand, nothing crawling out of the ocean. There will be no distortion to this piece. So I'm very excited to try to just do what someone else sees, like what a beach actually looks like, instead of my version of what a beach would look like. So I just want to introduce this idea and like the supplies I'm using, and then I think I'm just gonna paint and show like clips of it as I go along, because I really want to focus on this. I don't think I can talk and do this thought process. It seems simple, but to me it's just like a totally different concept. So like I said, I'm excited to try it, but I want to show you I am using this canvas. I believe this is a 19 by 20. Now I've had this canvas for, I want to say like it has to be 10 years or so, maybe a little less, but it is a picture of the Navy Pier in Chicago. I love Chicago. I believe I was given this as a gift, possibly around Christmas time, but the problem is I never see myself sitting down and doing something so detailed. So I'm going to repurpose this canvas and do the beach scene on it. I think this is such a nice layout, how it's elongated. Now I did ask the buyer if they would prefer it, you know, in this direction, which we kind of went back and forth on that idea, but we are going to stick with the long what is that, horizontal version of the canvas. So I'm going to layer and paint the scene on this. This is the canvas supply. But another thing I wanted to introduce was I have these paints. I have never used this type of paint in my life. I don't even know if these are fairly new. Also don't know how to pronounce it. I feel like if I try to pronounce that, I'm going to ruin it. But these are so cool. So they come, and these are probably also old news, but I've only ever used like watercolor or acrylic or oil. So these are new to me. Like I've never actually tried these out. Okay, so it comes with like a little color card, and then it comes with a little palette. that you can mix and work on. It also comes with paint brushes, which these are beautiful. I never buy new brushes. I've said that in past videos. I've used the same brushes for probably like 20 years, maybe even longer. I've had some of those since college. But I have new brushes, and then each paint comes in an individual little compact. I don't really know what these are, if I'm being honest. They apparently dry super quick. They're blendable. They're long lasting. I've heard and seen on YouTube and little shorts myself that these are wonderful paints. Let me try to get a few more out. It's so strange that, I mean, the colors are so vibrant. And I also feel like these are absolutely perfect for a beach scene. And I was talking to my oldest, because I usually add red to like every single piece I do. I don't know, there's some type of distorted red. I said I need to stay away from the red. Like, I don't even think I'm going to open it. Just to be safe. Look at this blue. That is gorgeous. So, before I ramble for 5 hours about these are the supplies. New paint, never used before, going to be a challenge. A canvas that I need to probably layer on top of, and a almost normal theme to me to create. So that's what I'm getting myself into this week. I am so excited for the challenge, and I hope you guys will stick around and watch me accomplish it. So it has been, in my time, about a month that I have been both filming this piece and not filming this piece. I started the video at the beginning of March, and then I did a live and did some work on it. And now I'm coming to the end of this project, except I need to show this part. I'm not sure how it's going to go, but I did. This is where we're at. Okay, so on live, I did a lot of this. I'll attach the live feed I did, which was my first live feed, in this video's description, if you guys are interested in checking out like what we did that morning. But I worked on this yesterday. I painted with my littles, and so I didn't film. We were just, you know, in the moment. I added a ton of details. A lot of depth is what I'm seeing. I mean, that's in, you know, the eye of the beholder there, but I did create what I assume is a lot of depth. The thing I am not happy with is the sand. So I might be ruining this piece, but I'm going to use real sand. Did I get this from my kids' sandbox? Maybe, maybe not. But I have real sand here. I am going to mix the texture into paint. and layer it. I think that will get me where I want to be with this project, but I don't know. So I am putting this part in there because I'm either going to nail this or I'm going to look back and be like, you just ruined the piece, and that's that. So let's just get started with it. I do have all my paints here. This was how many paints we ended up opening and making it through. If anybody, I mentioned this in the beginning of the video that I had not worked with these paints, but I do have this press and seal wrap, cling wrap, you know, so I just use that and have been sealing the paint shut every single time, and it's been amazing. It's worked perfect. Everything has stayed kept from drying out, basically. So I'm going to take some of the sand, and I don't know here. We're going to take the beach color that we've been using. This is literally winging it. I've never put texture into my projects like this before, but I really, really think that the farther it comes out at us, this like realist, I've tried to add a lot. I've added a lot of texture with the paint itself. It is very, very textured, which I like in a piece, but I think this is going to do what it is I'm like missing almost. So I don't know, maybe I'm just making this up, but let's see what we get here. I do plan on also sealing this with a top coat. I try to seal most of my work with top coats. Okay, I think we just need to go for it. It kind of looks horrific. There's a lot of water. The sand had just had water added into it. So maybe I need more, but we're going to just try to spread this throughout, okay? Should I do this? Okay. It's done. We're gonna, let's see if am I blocking that a little bit. Yeah. Okay. We're going to, the sound is incredible. I do think though also that when the sand is set, I will need to add some more depth to the waves. But let's just work with what we got right now. Also, I sound terrible. I've not been really feeling like 100% this week. So sorry for I'm instantly regretting this. Are you guys watching this and just going, no? Stop it. All right, that's fine. Can always fix it. So I honestly feel like we need this. Okay, so since I feel like I've ruined it, I'm going to just take it up a notch. I feel like I need some glue mixed in with this to set it. So we are going to do that. We're just going to go all out on ruining it, okay? So bear with me here. We're going to grab some glue. We're also going to mix that into this mess, and we're going to see what we come up with because, why not? Why not, I always say. What's the big deal? I think that's exactly what we needed, though. Guys, that's what we needed. All right, I'm going to work this into the canvas until I'm happy with it. I'm bore you guys with that, and then I will come back and show you the results. So it's either going to be in the trash can, or I will have it situated enough to want to put this clip in here and ever post it. So I'll see you soon. Okay, I'm not mad about it. I'm really not. I think it added a lot of what I wanted to do, which was to bring this part forward. I wanted it to look like you could almost like walk into the piece, like this is where you would stand, you know. So we're gonna go in now. I did, you know, get a little out of the beach area here, so I'm just gonna cover some of that. And if it'll allow me, I'm gonna also add some edging to the water so it looks more washed in than the sand sitting on top of the water. So that's what I'm going to try to get done here. I was just telling my husband yesterday that I love the challenge of this project, right? I mentioned that in the beginning of the video as well, that I wanted to challenge myself with something I don't normally try. Oh, I got water on the canvas, that's okay. I wanted to challenge myself with something that I don't normally try, because I usually steer towards surrealism and just whatever I want, basically, for the design. This piece has challenged me to make realism. I'm going to let that dry out and go back over it. My point was, sorry, I'm getting distracted because this water just made me have extra work for no reason. Maybe I should move this over here. So what I mean is, doing this project has made me realize exactly why I do surrealism. This project has been very time consuming because I keep looking at it and going, well, that's not right. That's not realistic. That's not how it would lay. That's not the shading. That's not where the light would hit. And that is exactly why I've always steered away from realism, because I love the challenge of accomplishing those things, but I also love the freedom when I am able to just throw something on the canvas and make it what I want. I don't really have to follow any guidelines or lighting techniques. There is still technique to it, but I realize why I do art the way I do art, because I feel like it's a lot more freeing. That's not so bound up by rules, if that makes sense. If anybody else can relate to that, I'd love to know, because I keep coming back to this project and just dissecting it. That water spot really messed me up right here. I gotta wait for that to kind of dry out to layer the color. Anyway, let me know if you can relate to that, if you are more surrealist, if you love realism. And I admire realism. I adore it, actually. I'm blown away that people have the brain and just patience for that. I really do, because I don't have that. And I also feel like I just critique myself a lot harder when I try realism than if I throw something together on the paper. I'm gonna try not to drag that pink out. It's still very wet, but I want to add some depth while it's drying, so then I can go back in and see what else it might need. I've also really liked this project because I am not a beach person. I really don't remember if I've mentioned that in any of the filming I've done for this. I think it was on the live we were talking about it, is what comes to mind. But I'm not a beach person, so I don't have beach scenes in my home. I don't have, you know, we don't pack up and go to the beach. And so this has been a very fun way to kind of like look at this scene and figure out what it actually entails, because I'm not usually looking at this. I look at like a hiking scene or a woods theme. Okay, we're gonna just try to add in. I'll tell you what though, this project with the paint, these paints are called, I didn't say it in the beginning because I was going to butcher it. My oldest told me what they're called. I'm not going to say it, that's embarrassing, but it's something with a G. And these paints have been the most blendable, beautiful. They almost, the texture feels like oil paints, but the way you can move them is like acrylic. I cannot explain it. These are just really great paints. If you have not tried them, let me show you the lid again. They were in the beginning, but these type of paints, man, my oldest said it and I don't know how she said it again now that I'm looking at it, but anyway, they are incredible. They always come in, I guess, a little storage container like that. And I highly recommend at least trying them out because they have been really incredible to work with. And they don't seem to dry out. I did read that people leave them in the refrigerator to prevent molding. I guess they can mold. I have not come across that obviously yet. I have not put them in the fridge. Not once. So that was kind of something I ran into. Like, I wasn't certain if I was going to have to be leaving them in the refrigerator. Maybe somebody knows more about that than me and you can comment about it. But the way these just blend, and you can use them with water. I've been using this spray bottle to just kind of like use it on the end of the paintbrush and then spray the tip of it, and then just, I don't know, they're really, really incredible paints. If anybody was debating using them or trying them out, definitely worth it. All right, well, I'm gonna let this dry a little more. I'm gonna add any details that I sit and see 1,000 times over before I show you guys the final piece. I will most likely spray it down as well and let it fully dry with the top coat on and show you the final piece in this last clip here, because I'm gonna sit and actually like drive myself insane over this. So okay, it's completely done. I did the top coat on it. I have it in the sunlight right now, so it's got a bit of a shadow to it, but I wanted to show like if it would pick up the sheen that top coat leaves behind and locks in. So this is the final piece. I'll probably capture it also when there's not some like, you know, streaking of the shadows. One more thing I didn't mention when I was talking about how I did this on a live was I originally had like a little crab right here coming up the shore. And yesterday when I was working on this, I obviously took him out of the picture and just layered. I pretty much wiped him away and then layered back over. So if you see that in the live, obviously he didn't survive to the last piece. But I'm going to try to capture this in a different lighting and see if it does justice for it otherwise. But here it is. It's taken me on and off a month to complete it, but I am very happy with how it turned out. So if you're still here in this video, thank you so much, and I will see you guys next week.